Hello everyone, Hana today back here with another taco guide. This time I'll be covering Naberius Advance, or what it used to be called Naberius 1. Interestingly, they swapped the order of when you unlock Naberius Beginner and Naberius Advance, or Naberius 2 and Naberius 1 respectively. Anyway, Naberius 1 is where things start to get a little slightly complicated, but it's still not that bad. So first off, starting off in this center area below, you kind of want to ignore the enemies in the center. Just go straight to the structure or the rock mountain thingy in the middle. Hit the switch, go to one side, and hit the switch over there, and just repeat for the other side. Uh, I'll be popping up this map version from time to time so you kind of know where everything is. And the reason why you kind of want to just go for the switches, because once you hit both purple switches, all enemies in this row right here will start to despawn. So next up in this section, you mainly want to take down the Udons and the Za Udons to open up those portals. If you're in a party of like 3 or more, you can also consider taking down the other mobs here as well, just to open the other portals. But if you're kind of like lower level, don't have that much equipment, or you just want to save some time, you don't really have to do those. Just make sure you get the Udons and the Za Udons. So once with all those are done, take a portal. You'll be taken to a slightly different area in the same map. Just go around each corner, killing every enemy on the way, just to open up the barriers around the telepipes up there. And each portal that each portal that unlocks will take you to a different corner of the map based off of which enemy was guarding the barrier for that portal. So the portal that I entered on the um, back on the right side, that one took me to the bottom right corner for the Za Udons, and I just worked my way around. Whichever way you go, uh, you can't really go counterclockwise around the corner. You have to go clockwise around the corner. Now with all the enemies down, just take this telepipe. And now here I'm going to start explaining this skip. So here there's a skip along this path, which if you take the time, a little detour to just go back and to open up, you can just skip straight to Rock Bear over at E1 and not have to worry about killing all the enemies along the way. So to start this skip, you want to first break this rock. Then you want to take this telepipe, which will take you actually back over here. And from then on, you want to go to the portal, the telepipe where the Za Udons were guarding, and cut this grass here with any way you have. If you are a ranger or a gunner, particularly ranger in particular, you don't really have much ways to cut grass, so I'd advise carrying a gun slash. But each of these portals will take you to a little area with the healing pod, so you can just use that if necessary. Take this teleporter and you'll be back over to the normal pathway. If you're on your own, you just take the telepipe back and go into the other portal for the Udons. Okay, and now that I've hit both switches, I can just literally just go. Now normally there would be some barriers that block these sides over here, but because I hit those switches over down in D4 and F4, those switches actually unlock those barriers here, so I can go around this red barrier gated by just killing all the enemies. And then Rock Bear will spawn. depending on which class you use, like say Force or Braver, you can use this wall to kind of like position a Nazon just like right there on Rockbear's face. That's just for a little helpful hint. But with Rockbear done, you can just proceed on to the next area. And area 2 is where there is a skip here as well, which it gets a lot more complicated to just explain. But to just start off, there are still stuff that needs to be done before you can actually fully utilize this skip. So first of all, there's a bunch of switches over here. Each switch, if you probably might notice, will deactivate that specific color barrier on either the right or the left path. So for the switches here, the right path, you want to hit the orange, purple, and green switch. And for the left path, you want to hit the yellow and the blue switch. If you're going solo, it's better to take the right path first. So I'll be going through covering that one. So once you hit the orange, purple, and green switch, just run your way through. You probably may have noticed over in the minimap that enemies have started spawning in C5, and enemies will keep on spawning as you progress through this entire right path. But enemies all along the path in D are totally unnecessary to kill. If you're solo, just make your way over and just hit that switch. If you're in a party, it's probably a good idea to take down these Yetis, but they're not really necessary. Just take the catapults back over. And now here, back in the center, C5, you actually want to make sure you kill all the enemies. In fact, you actually kind of have to kill all the enemies if you want to utilize the skip to its maximum potential. So 2 Yetis, 2 Malmoths, and 6 Nabrappies. You don't need to wait for them to like start running away, but I like to do so anyway. Now you kind of want to go up to here, C4, take out these Gulfers and take out that Garango. Doing that will open the cover that's holding this switch, and you want to hit this switch. There are 3 switches that you want to hit before you can actually make any normal progression through, and they're located here, C4, here, C3, and here in A4. Now you may have noticed that by killing the enemies in the center, enemies over in D4 and D5 have despawned, but the enemies in D3 have not. So if you run in a party of 3 or more, you can have the person who takes the right path just kind of like stay in the right path. And while they're at that right path and they hit that switch, instead of going back, they just kill these Yetis right here. Once the King Yeti spawns and all the enemies in the center are down, this telepipe will appear. You can take this telepipe from D3 and it'll take you all the way to C3. And just kill these 2 Malmoths and the Garango. And now you can hit this switch. Take note, the first instance you go to B4 and B3, it will spawn some Yetis and King Yetis. You don't have to kill them at all, but if you do spawn them by yourself and you need to backtrack, you can either you can kill them to open the catapults that are over down here in B4, but if you just go around them like I just did with C3, you can just take the catapult to go back around. Next, I'll be detailing the right path, and the right path you are really time constrained because there are some switches that you have to hit along the way, and this will open up the shortcut. So first off, you want to hit the yellow and the blue switches and immediately start making your way. Best idea to hit that yellow one first to give you the max amount of time. 4 Gulfers here, take them down. You have to actually kill them, because if you don't kill them, you won't be able to activate the switch that's standing right in this little like alcove here. So hit that switch and quickly make your way to A5. Same deal over here, you want to kill all the enemies over here. Because by killing them, you'll spawn this teleporter, but you'll also be able to activate the switch over here that's under the snow pile. Take note that the switches under the snow pile here, if you notice that you can actually just access that switch just without having to destroy the snow pile. And you can just use that as a time saver if you're really constrained on time. But after that, just take this telepipe to A5 and it'll take you right to A4. Kill the enemies here in the Garango. And you can hit that switch. Now take note, by taking the telepipe from over down in A5 over to A4, that'll actually allow you to skip killing the Yetis that will spawn here in B4 to open up these catapults. And if you do that, then you'd never have to kill them at all. Now, once you have all those switches hit, you'll notice that there are two launch pads that go through. You have one over here. This is the normal path that you would typically take. But if you hit those two switches over at B5 and A5, you could take this one right here, the lower portion. And this will take you to this little side area over here. Take the catapult that would unlock from the other switch along the left path. And just simply ignore the enemies. And when you reach this area, you'll find a telepipe right over here. And that takes you right over here where the exit is. And that skips this whole area in B2 where you fight some more enemies and a Demalmoth, which normally is just much slower. So you just go through here and just make your way through. The Golfers don't matter, just kill the Snow Banther and this time attack is finished. And that's all there is to Naberius Beginner. Hopefully that can help you out, get you to know exactly what needs to be done just to like open up the shortcuts and just take through, and as well as other helpful hints and such. And with that, thanks for watching.